who does not appear in this story, was very, very good about it. Meanwhile, Lillian, who spent a lifetime mourning Henry, a young man who died in the Second World War, has moved into a home with Ida Delia Fontaine, Henry's widow. Lillian had 3 brothers, Terence Jr., Ned, who also died in the war. Henry comforted her through this, which made her fall madly in love with him, and Gordon, who was Rosie's grandfather. So, here we are. Stephen is just about to take up his new job as a teacher in Lipton's local school. Oh, and another note. You may not have heard of the carol Sweet Bells which appears in this book. It's an old variation on While Shepherds Watched, and I think it's absolutely beautiful and huge fun for children. I discovered it via the ever-magnificent and talented Kate Rusby, and you can find it on her splendid Christmas album, Sweet Bells, at www.katerusby.com. I have also put together a Spotify list of the Christmas music that appears in this book, plus a few extra lovely carols and Christmas songs. So if you want to listen along to what I was listening to when I wrote it, it's at www.tinyurl.com/sweetshopcarols. As ever, I love to hear from people. The best places to find me are at Jenny Colgan on Twitter and www.facebook.com/Jenny Colgan Books. Wishing you the very happiest of Christmases, and I really hope you enjoy the book. Jenny. Chapter 1. Lipton was quiet underneath the stars. It was quiet as the snow fell through the night, as it settled on the roof of the Isit's barn and the bell house of the school, as it came in through the cracked upper windows that needed mending at Lipton Hall, as it cast a hush across the cobbled main street of the village, muting the few cars that passed by. It lay on the roofs of the dentist's and the doctor's surgery. It fell on Manley's, the dated ladies' wear boutique, and on the Red Lion, its outdoor tables buried under mounds, its mullioned windows piled high with the stuff. It fell on the ancient church with the kissing gate, and the graveyard with its repeated local names, Lipton, Isit, Carr, Cooper, Bell. It fell on the sleeping sheep, camouflaging them completely. Rosie had made Stephen laugh once, asking where the sheep slept when it got cold. He had looked at her strangely and said, "In the Waldorf, of course. Where else?" And she'd taken a moment or two before she kicked him crossly in the shins. It fell on birds cosy in their nests, their heads under their wings, and settled like a sigh, piled soft and deep in the gullies and crevasses of the great towering Derbyshire hills that fringed the little town. Even now, after a year of living there, Rosie Hopkins couldn't get over how quiet it was in the countryside. There were birds, of course, always singing their hearts out in the morning. One could usually hear a cock crow, and every now and then from the deeper sections of the woods would come a distant gunshot as someone headed out to hunt rabbits. You weren't meant to. The woods belonged to the estate, so no one ever owned up, although if you passed Jake the farmhand's little tied cottage on a Saturday night, the smell of a very rich stew might just greet your nostrils. But tonight, as Rosie went to mount the little narrow stairs to bed, it felt quieter than ever. There was something different about it. Her foot creaked on the step. "Are you coming up or what?" came the voice from overhead. Even though she and Stephen had lived there together now for nearly a year, Rosie still wasn't out of the habit of calling it Lillian's cottage. Her great-aunt, whom she'd come up to look after when Lillian had broken her hip, had moved into a lovely local home, but they still had her over most Sundays, so Rosie felt that even though legally she had bought the cottage, she rather had to keep it exactly as Lillian liked it. Well, it was slightly that, and slightly that Lillian would sniff and raise her eyebrows when they so much as tried to introduce a new picture, so it was easier all round just to keep it as it was. Anyway, Rosie liked it too. The polished wooden floor covered in warm rugs, the fireplace with its horse brasses, the chintzy sofa piled with cushions and floral throws, the old Aga, and the old-fashioned butler's sink. It was dated, but in a very soft, worn-in, comfortable way, and as she lit the wood burner, she was terrible with